Hello, everyone. It's me, Jess from REBURN. So excited to have Marielle Woods on today. One second, let me see. It's always the most fun part about doing lives is the waiting. Oh, there she is.
I did it.
Yay, you made it. Is this your first live?
This is, I think, my first Instagram. Oh, no, this is my second Instagram live.
Oh, well, you're a pro then.
Hang on, let me.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Did that help? I turned Wi-Fi off.
Much better.
Okay,
Yes.
great. This is my
Hi,
second
buddy.
ever Instagram live, so exciting.
Oh my God. This is so exciting. This is so exciting for me. Thank you so much for doing this. We are, really with our
Of
REBURN
course.
comic team, we're an all-female team working in comics. So anytime that we get to like geek out with other cool chicks about cool action,
Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes,
So
love it.
just to let everybody know, Marielle and I met. We're both in the HBO Access Fellowship. She has been killing it. She's actually just did a short film for Netflix called Heartshot. Congratulations. It
Thank
launched
you.
last week.
Thank you.
You want to yeah, tell us a
Hey,
little bit
Sean.
about it. Cause
Um, Yeah, it is, I was part of this program called the Netflix Emerging Filmmakers Initiative, whereby they chose three directors to direct three shorts that were, we pitched them as proof of concepts for a larger feature. And, my mission as a filmmaker when it comes to my own projects is I want to see more action with diverse leads, people of color, people with disabilities, queer people. I'm queer. Um, I just am bored of cishet white men running around in, wife beaters. And I think that there's just many more interesting stories to be told as well that I'm excited to be part of telling. And Heartshot was really such an incredible experience because it's just totally indicative of the exact kind of art that I want to put out into the world. It's emotional and it has hard hitting action, and that those are the two things that really are important to me in my filmmaking. I want to find that kind of middle ground between prestige drama and blockbuster action. Like what is Portrait of a Lady on Fire with explosions?
Absolutely. No, I think you totally nailed it. And yeah, Sean's a very talented and determined director. That is
I know Sean from
exactly.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, okay, so and you've also done now 4 episodes of Cobra Guy?
Yeah, I did four. Two are live. Two are up on from season 4. I directed episodes 3 and 4, and I went back and directed two more for season 5, which will have a release date at some point. Super fun. I mean, could not have asked for a better entry into episodic TV directing. Um, it's obviously a perfect show for me in so many ways. It is, emotion. It's very emotional, and the action is super fun. And honestly, the cast and crew are just rad. Like it would just was a really, it's a best idea wins kind of set, and everyone's just collaborating at the highest level. It was so fun and just perfect for me.
That's awesome. And just to back up a little bit, how did you get your start in film?
Yeah, it's a good question. I went to college thinking I was going to major in classics. I took Latin for like 10 years, and I would
Oh, wow.
still love one day to direct like a massive gladiator style action movie, but with a female lead because there's so many badass women from that time period. We just never get their stories. Um, but I, had always been into theater and acting, and had often run around with like a camcorder doing school projects. Um, and so when I started taking some film classes, I think for fun at college, I realized that that's what I wanted to do, and I switched my major over to film. And then, no one in my family does anything remotely close to this industry. I'm not entirely certain that my parents fully understand what I do still. I think my mom at one point was like, people seem to be excited that you were part of a karate show. And I was like, yep, cool. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
She's like, I wish you would wear fewer hats. Show me your pretty face. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I came out to LA pretty quickly. I had come out the summer before my senior year to get a feel for the city because I'd never been here, and I kind of interned and PA'd, and then came out right out of college and kind of fell into working for this company that had made their name making Shark Week shows. Like any good film student, I came out here being like, I'm going to direct character-driven indie movies starring Laura Linney. And like, that's not true anymore. I still want to do that. I just want them to also have explosions. And I love Laura Linney, like, deeply. But I started working for this company and very quickly was directing and producing these shows that were reenactment shows. This was like my film school. It was like, here's a camera, you're shooting B camera, you're directing, you're producing, you're the AD, figure out props and wardrobe. I became excellent at fake blood. I'm like a connoisseur of fake blood because it was like, interview this person who's been attacked by a bear and then reenact it. Okay, I'm working with a bear today. Interview these people who are like the sole survivors of these crazy like plane crashes, avalanches. Okay, great. And it was interestingly so much in those interviews about tapping into the core emotions that those people were experiencing at the time. It was incredibly visceral filmmaking. And I think that's where I became interested in like this intersection of action and emotion. And just really realized very quickly as I was exploding cars and, reenacting mafia gunfights that this was what I wanted to do, no question. And then I kind of cold called and cold emailed second unit directors and managed to get some shadowing opportunities and then turned those into work opportunities. And up until this last maybe year and a half, 2 years where I've really just been directing, I spent the maybe 8 or 9 years prior to that, I had carved out a spot for myself in stunt departments where I was kind of like producing or managing stunt departments on higher level shows and movies. Like I worked on Westworld, I worked on Bright for Netflix, Baby Driver. And it was great. It was everything I wanted it to be because I was learning about stunts and action from incredible filmmakers and like artisans of the craft of action. And I was also getting to just be on the ground. So in addition to watching Edgar Wright direct for, 5 months on Baby Driver, which is like, that's crazy that I got to do that. I'm also working right with the second unit director, Darren Prescott, and like just sponging it all up. And being on Cobra Kai was really exciting because it was one of my first opportunities to kind of put all of my learning to use. Sitting down with the coordinators on that, who are lovely, Ken Bearfield, Don Lee, and just very quickly being like, okay, so this character gets kicked in the junk here. I really want to do that for real. So can we get a kick strap? Like, let's make sure we practice with him. And like, we're jumping these people across roofs. I'd really like to be able to fly a camera. So can we make sure we have two? And them being like, whoa, how do you know all that? It's exactly the dream. Cause I know that as a woman, especially, I wanted to have the confidence and the intelligence of being able to speak to my stunt team with the same level of detail I can speak to. And I know you know this because you've done a ton of action, but like, I know I can speak to actors. I've been an actor. I've taken the acting classes. I feel confident that I can relate to them. And I know on the technical side, I've spent so much time crewing. I really feel like I have a pretty good handle on how to speak to directors of photography, gaffers, what have you. But since I knew at that point I wanted to direct action, I was like, I don't ever want to step on a set and not feel confident in how I want to do this, what I want to see. And I still have a ton to learn, but it was just great. I feel so lucky, the trajectory I've been on.
It's so awesome. Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right. I think that is the one thing as a woman, I've always kind of felt like I have to know more about everything, but also like maintain that ability to be a sponge.
Yes.
As I'm like, you know, moving through, and every show that I've been on, I learn something new, or add
Totally.
something to my bag of tricks. I find something I don't want to do.
Totally.
You know? Like,
Totally. You know, I
can
often
avoid.
think like one of the greatest skills a director can have is just like listening to other people's ideas and knowing when to say yes or no. I think we're all artists, but I think we are all also, many of us are people. And by that, I mean, like, I love that film is a collaborative art form. You know, like one of the things that's most exciting about finding some success in my career is like, oh, I get to go work with this person who I admire. Oh, I get to like shoot with this person. That's amazing. It's like a painter being like, well, I guess painting is more individualistic in most cases, but like imagine being able to like collaborate with Picasso or something, you know. That's what it feels like when you step onto a set and you're like, oh wow, this is, when I walked into Miyagi-Do for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Oh, it was so cool. And your episodes are so great. And
Thank you.
I mean, if you haven't seen Cobra Kai, like, why?
Yes,
You should be
it's
watching
amazing.
it,
Highly
everyone.
recommend.
And also the shorts, these amazing shorts that Netflix are doing, like
Yeah.
to give emerging filmmakers in the genre space an opportunity to work at a studio level, you know, and create shorts, and then also take it to the feature space. So is that the plan with Heartshot?
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. You know, Netflix was pretty clear, like it's a pipeline program, and they really believe in us and really supported us the whole time as directors, as filmmakers. And we are now, my partner Lauren wrote the script for Heartshot, and so we are now kind of re-breaking the feature. We learned a lot from doing the short, and we will hopefully be pitching that to Netflix in the next month or so, which is really exciting. It's like to have the potential opportunity to bring those kinds of stories to the screen, and like, you know, queer stories that are also action stories, that are also people of color, like whatever it is, it just feels really exciting to be able to be a part of that. And I'm incredibly grateful to Netflix for their support. It's been just an awesome experience to work with them. And it is, I think I said this before, like it is exactly the kind of art I want to make. You know, I consider myself pretty genre queer. And by that, I mean, like, I want to make something like Hot Fuzz, and I want to make something like Sicario. And I just love playing in different visual styles. I'm a super visual director. And for me, it's just like, I just love physical storytelling. And that, you know, is inclusive of two people having a conversation in a room. How are they in the space? Who's closing distance? Who's creating distance? You know, are they touching at any point? So it's a really fun way I find to approach it.
Well, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
I believe in you.
Thanks, Jess.
I am so excited to see
you know
what
I love you
happens
too.
next. This has been like so much fun, and it really is like, you know, everything that you're doing like is so in line with who you are as a person.
Thank
and I
you.
think that's what is going to keep you moving forward in this industry.
Thank
and
you.
what makes me so excited to
Thanks for asking me to do this. It's been super fun. Always, I love the comics. They're great. I hope it gets picked up and made into a feature series in some way, because it's awesome.
That's the ultimate goal. Thank you.
Cool.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much. And
Thanks, Jess.
We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.